Aye, aye, Captain.
I can't hear you.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Oh! Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Absorbent and yellow and porous is he.
SpongeBob SquarePants. If nautical nonsense is something you wish,
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Then drop on the deck and flop like a fish.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Ready?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
The SpongeBob Movie. Switching instruments.
Hey everybody, this is 22 Tiger Dude, and I'm here to review the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. So the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, is based off of the Nickelodeon animated series, SpongeBob SquarePants. It has been 11 years since the 2004 film, the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. This is the second theatrical SpongeBob release. It's not a direct sequel to the 2004 film, it's just another SpongeBob movie. It's another SpongeBob adventure. So the plot is that Plankton is after the Krabby Patty secret formula once again, and Antonio Banderas plays this character named Blackbeard, where he could just change around the story, just rewrite it. And so because of Burger Beer taking over the story, the Krabby Patty secret formula disappears. So when the apocalypse starts due to the Krabby Patty secret formula being gone, SpongeBob and Plankton go on this little adventure together, and then eventually we get the gang going out of the water to go get the Krabby Patty secret formula back from Burger Beard. Most of you at least probably know this, but I am a huge SpongeBob fan. I've grown up watching SpongeBob my whole life. I know the new seasons don't get good receptions, but personally, I love the new seasons just as much as I love the old seasons. The whole cartoon in general is just something that I love. It's my favorite cartoon of all time, and it's a cartoon I'm always going to cherish. And I did like the 2004 SpongeBob movie. I couldn't wait to see this movie. It's actually my second most anticipated movie for the entire year of 2015. This is such an awesome and very satisfying movie. And the best way to look at the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, is that it's like an ordinary episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, just it's an hour and a half. So it's like a really long episode of SpongeBob SquarePants. Some of the reviewers described it that way, and I have to totally agree with them. And the good thing about the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, is that even if you're not a die-hard fan like me, like even if you only enjoy seasons 1 through 3, I think you could still find a lot of appreciation for this movie because there's a lot of jokes that the movie just references from the earlier seasons. Everyone does a great job voicing. Tom Kenny is always fantastic as SpongeBob. Bill Fagerbeck is always great as Patrick. Roger Bumpass is always great as Squidward. Same goes to Clancy Brown as Mr. Krabs. You know, I love Clancy Brown. You can never go wrong with Clancy Brown, and he always provides Mr. Krabs' voice so well. Carolyn Lawrence as Sandy is great. Mr. Lawrence is really good as Plankton. All of the voice casting, it's all terrific. It sounds brilliant. The animation is gorgeous. Traditional animation, 3D animation, a little bit of mixture of stop motion. They all look fantastic. It has some of the best animation I've seen in an animated movie. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a SpongeBob fan. I'm criticizing this as a movie. And as a movie, the animation looks beautiful. Even though this is called Sponge Out of Water, the gang really doesn't come out of the water until the final 20 minutes of the movie. So the movie is really 80% traditional animation and 20% 3D animation. Nowadays, we really lack traditional animated movies, and that makes me so sad because traditional animation is an art form for animated movies, and I really enjoy 3D animated movies. I have no problem with that. I just wish that Hollywood would have a nice blend of releasing traditional animated movies to go along with 3D animated movies. So just seeing traditional animation on the big screen, it's already a plus with this movie. It's just glorious to watch. It's so beautiful. It's so vibrant. It's so colorful. I just can't stress enough how much I love the traditional animation and just the animation in general for this movie. The storyline, yes, it's the same storyline that we see a lot in the animated series. Plankton is out for the Krabby Patty secret formula. Yes, we all know how many times SpongeBob has done that plot, but they give it a little spin this time around. And speaking of Plankton, I really enjoyed the SpongeBob and Plankton dynamic. I felt like this movie had the strongest SpongeBob and Plankton plot. You learn about teamwork. There's even a musical number in this movie about teamwork, which I really love that musical number. SpongeBob and Plankton, really, for the most part, they're the main stars. In the 2004 film, it's SpongeBob and Patrick. They're the stars. And this one, for the most part, it's SpongeBob and Plankton. And then that's when the last 20 minutes, that's when you get the whole gang together. Another thing about this movie is that it takes SpongeBob's weirdness and takes it to a whole new level. If you think some of the episodes in SpongeBob are bizarre, holy shit, this movie just takes it to a whole nother level. It's trippy as hell. There are just times where you just get real tripped out by this movie. I know it's gonna distract some people, I could see why, but I couldn't help but be tripped out by the movie, but be extremely intrigued by it at the same time. And honestly, my favorite trippy moments in this movie are actually the moments for every time SpongeBob and Plankton go inside this time traveling machine. I also thought the humor in this movie was very well done. It was very clever. It was very well written. I definitely did get a good amount of laughs. Now, I don't think it's laugh out loud hysterical like the 2004 film. In terms of humor, I think the 2004 film is much better. I laughed much more harder in that one than I did here, but I still laughed watching this movie and I still really enjoyed it. I was fine that it wasn't a hilarious movie. I just want a really good movie with a really good storyline to it, and that's exactly what this is. And once they are in the 3D world, it was really cool. Loved their whole superhero take. I loved how SpongeBob's powers dealt with bubbles, Patrick's powers were the ice cream, Squidward was the clarinet, Mr. Krabs was like this robot where he could reach out with his claws, they just pop out. That was awesome. And then Sandy, she's just a regular squirrel, which was really funny, and I like how out there the movie really went. Oh yeah, and Plankton has the big muscles, so that was really nice right there. I wish there was more superhero stuff, however, but for what I got, it was plain awesome. Another thing I definitely really appreciate about this movie is how all of the characters, SpongeBob, Patrick, Mr. Krabs, Squidward, Sandy, they're in this adventure, at least for the final 25 minutes. Because one of my problems with the SpongeBob SquarePants movie was that it was SpongeBob and Patrick's adventure. It was just them two. Sandy, she only appears briefly in that movie for 3 scenes, and that was honestly a disappointment. But I'm glad how all the characters were involved together, and I really like that, because for the final 25 minutes when all of the main characters are together, I really like their interactions and this adventure they have to go to when they're up on the air. Now, my biggest problem I did have with this movie, however, are just the scenes with Antonio Banderas as Burger Beard and these seagull characters. I really did not care for those moments. Antonio Banderas does a good job here. You could tell he was having a lot of fun, and I liked him. The seagull characters, however, they kind of got on my nerves. They weren't necessary, and every time the movie went back to them, I'm just like, no, just get back to the underwater animation stuff. I did feel like a little bit more things could have happened if those scenes didn't exist. I also thought the ending with this song, it actually has YouTubers making a cameo in that ending, which I think is cool and I respect that. But the song was so unnecessary. If the movie just ended like 1 or 2 minutes earlier, it would have been perfectly fine. I was really having such an awesome time with this movie, but the movie goes by so fast. At the blink of an eye, it's all like, it's over, and it made me feel like there could have been a little bit more to this movie. Like the movie could have been 10 minutes longer or 15 minutes longer, honestly. But overall, I had a really wonderful time watching the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. I think it's just as much fun to watch as the 2004 film SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I was really satisfied watching this movie, and it just felt so good to see SpongeBob again up on the big screen. So the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, gets a spongy 3 out of 4 stars. And I think if you at least like SpongeBob, then you'll probably have some fun watching this movie. So everyone, in the comments down below, let me know, what did you think of the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water? And also let me know, which SpongeBob movie do you think is better, the 2004 film or the 2015 film? Also, I would love to give a huge thank you to Justin, Adam, and Mega Movie Man Mark, because they took the time to sing the SpongeBob SquarePants theme song. They all do movie reviews. Mega Movie Man Mark does these skits, which are awesome, so please check them out. I will leave a link to their channels in the description below. I also did a Sponge Out of Water spoiler review with Tevye Smoka on his channel. That was really fun, so I'll leave a link to that in the description below. And also, I'd love to give a shout out to my cousin Blanca, because she gave me this awesome SpongeBob SquarePants t-shirt. So thank you very much, cousin. You rock. This is 22 Tiger Dude, and don't forget that I will always have Tiger Power. Bye. Yeah, that wasn't a good laugh. That was not a good SpongeBob laugh.